English Paper 2, 2017, revision. Alright, so the first question was on structure. Section 1, vocabulary. So the best way to improve your vocabulary is by reading. Whenever you come across a new word, make it a habit to look it up in the dictionary and try to use that word in other sentences. Okay, so the instruction was, from the 4 options provided, select the best word or words which is or are closest in meaning to the underlined word in the sentence. Write your answer in the space provided. So number 1, the match did not start on time as one of the match officials arrived late. So the word arrived is synonymous with turned up. Question 2, this bag is made of artificial leather. So the word artificial is synonymous with synthetic. Question 3, due to the drought, the power supply was irregular. So irregular is synonymous with erratic. 4, the head teacher asked the prefects to give him their candid opinion about the mischief maker. So the word candid is synonymous with frank. Question 5, the United States of America provides an apt example of an affluent country. So the word affluent is synonymous with wealthy. 6, industrial towns are usually polluted by smoke. So the word polluted is synonymous with contaminated. Question 7, the president accommodated a diversity of ideas. So the word diversity simply means a variety. 8, the outfit was suitable for the weather. So suitable simply means appropriate. Question 9, she by chance found the missing ring. So the phrase by chance found simply means came across. Question 10, an old friend of mine called at my office yesterday. So the phrase called at simply means visited. 11, I was asked to record the interview verbatim. So the word verbatim simply means word for word. 12, we should not always back up our friends in what they say. So the phrase back up simply means support. 13, all members agreed to a tentative proposal of raising the membership fee. So the word tentative simply means provisional. 14, some people have only superficial knowledge of things. So the word superficial simply means shallow. 15, the plan fell out because few members supported it. So the phrase fell out simply means failed. 16, the police came across a cadaver near the post office. So the word cadaver simply means a dead body or a corpse. 17, carbon dioxide extinguishes fire. So the word extinguishes simply means puts out. 18, she has been unwell for a long time and her health has deteriorated. So the word deteriorated is synonymous with worsened. 19, water is a therapy. So therapy simply means healer. Finally, number 20, killing people is a heinous crime. So the word heinous simply means serious. Alright, so that's that on vocabulary. So remember to read a lot, and whenever I come across a new word, make it a habit to look it up in the dictionary. Alright, so section 2 is on transformations. So the easiest way to master rewrites is by practice. Make sure you answer as many questions as possible from past papers and pamphlets. Use pamphlets a lot because they also give the solutions. Then understand how sentences are joined, e.g. you must know that no sooner goes with than. You also need to be mindful of the punctuation as you rewrite the sentence. Alright, so let's begin. Number 1, the pool is deeper here than at the far end. Begin at the far end, so I have 2 options here. Number 1, at the far end, the pool is not as deep as here, or at the far end, the pool is shallower than here. Question 2, give this receipt to your teacher tomorrow. Mumba, shouted Mr. Banda. Begin, Mr. Banda commanded, the answer is Mr. Banda commanded Mumba to give that receipt to his or her teacher the next day. And then number 3, you will not qualify to enter college until you are 16. Begin, not until. So the answer is not until you are 16 will you be able to enter college. Number 4, although the storm was heavy, the little girl walked to school. Begin, in spite of. So the answer is in spite of the storm being heavy, comma, the little girl walked to school. Or in spite of the heavy storm, the little girl walked to school. 5, you can scream as much as you can, but she will not hear you. Begin, however. The answer is however much you scream, she will not hear you. Question 6, the book was so good that it was published right away. Begin, so. The answer is so good was the book that it was published right away. 7, Mary had just left the room when the baby started crying. Begin scarcely. Answer is, scarcely had Mary left the room when the baby started crying. 8. The goods were stolen because the building was not secured. Begin the goods and end with security. So the answer is, the goods were stolen due to the building's lack of security. 9. While Monde was picking mushrooms in the bush, a snake bit her. Begin picking mushrooms. The answer is, picking mushrooms in the bush, Monde was bitten by a snake. Then finally, number 10. The children were roasting cassava and giving it to their parents. Begin cassava. So the answer is, cassava was being roasted and given to the parents by their children. Comprehension. Okay, so comprehension tests your understanding of a particular passage. So tips. Number 1, read the passage once, then briefly look at the questions just to have an idea of what to look out for the second time you read the passage. Then number 2, go back to the passage and try to understand it. Number 3, start answering the questions, but be very careful with answers that seem too obvious. Question 4, make sure you're mindful of your time because this section usually consumes a lot of your time. Alright, so I won't read the passage, I'll just give the answers. So question number 1, the passage is about, so the answer is A, free radicals and antioxidants. Question 2, according to paragraph 2, people's lives are D, full of stress. Question 3, in paragraph 2, we are told that diseases like cancer are caused by free radicals and C, compromised immunity. Question 4, according to paragraph 3, when a compound reacts with oxygen in the body, B, free radicals are formed. 5, in paragraph 4, all the elements listed are free radicals except C, oxygen in water. 6, from paragraph 5, we can conclude that free radicals dash in the body. A, are waste products in the body. 7, in paragraph 6, others are involved in dash. The word others refers to A, bacteria and viruses. 8, according to the passage, which of the following statements is not true? Free radicals, D, produced by the immune system are bad. 9, paragraph 6, a healthy body can normally keep its free radicals in check, means that a healthy body can dash free radicals. A, control the development of free radicals. Question 10, from the underlined words in the passage, find antonyms, opposite meaning, of the following words or phrases. Spell the words correctly. Okay, so concealed, the answer is exposed. Mend, damage. Reduced, increased. Withheld, released. Finally, summary writing. So your ability to summarize the passage is tested here. So tips for dealing with summary writing. Number 1, read and understand the question first. So before you can read the passage, go to the question, try to understand it, and then you can come back to read the passage. Then once you've understood the question, go through the passage and underline the points that you're being asked to summarize. Then summarize the passage in one paragraph and stick to the number of words stipulated. Then don't include unnecessary details, and your summary should make grammatical sense. Write correct and complete sentences, joining the points using conjunctions. Alright, so I won't read the passage, I'll just answer the question. So the question was, according to the passage, what are the attributes of an ideal police officer? Present a well-connected summary of not more than 110 words. The summary has been started for you. So remember, when handling summary writing, read the question first. So in this case, what are the attributes of an ideal police officer? Once you've read the question, go to the passage and start underlining the points that you will use in your summary. Okay, so these are the points that I came up with. So remember, as you're reading, underline the points and don't forget to include all of them in your final summary. So usually, you'll be expected to find 20 points to get the 20 marks. So the summary is as follows. An ideal police officer should be competent and should provide unproblematic service to complainants. He or she should be punctual, well-trained, and must be educated. An officer should also be friendly, patient, and approachable. Furthermore, the officer should be respectful of civilians and must not use gratuitous violence. An officer must also be exemplary in his or her behavior and should be objective in all situations. Such an officer must be committed to his or her work and must also be passionate about the work he or she does. An ideal officer must also be honest and trustworthy. An officer should be flexible and must have a radiant and humane face. Finally, he or she should also apply the law as trained. So this summary has 109 words.